Welcome to the PT Legends podcast, where co-host Dave Bess and myself, Scott Carpenter, share our journey and secrets of success. From our humble beginnings as personal training employees of a big box gym to struggling studio owners that have made every mistake in the book, to where we are now, the owners of a multi-seven-figure business operating multiple personal training studios internationally, and now coach and mentor to fitness professionals in 5 countries and counting. This is our story, and these are our secrets. Subscribe to our podcast, learn, take action, and build your own fitness empire. Welcome to the PT Legends podcast. I am Scott.
Dave, clocking in.
It feels like it's been a while, but it's because we had Jeff and Dan on, and we were in New Orleans, I think.
I don't know if we listen to our own music before every podcast. It just gets me so ramped up. I love it.
It's fun. That's because we're nerds, though. And today we're in episode 27 already, which is kind of crazy. The whole thing has been a little bit surreal, I think, as an experience, because it only started, earlier in 2021 this year, and it's become something greater than we ever thought it would be, impacting a lot of gym owners' lives, like completely changing them. And it's become a movement, because while the finances and the money and everything that they're getting is fantastic, they're excited about the business they're in again for the first time in quite often a long time. Because you know how it is, owners, like you're so passionate when you start up the gym and to be doing what you want to do and have an impact in the community around you and change lives, and then it's fucking hard. It's hard. Only 10% of people follow your nutritional advice. Then you got massive overhead. You lose this key coach, and business happens. You got overhead. There's Facebook ads to figure out. There's just so much, and you get locked in it. And it's just like, shit, I just bought myself a job. Get me out of here sometimes.
I don't think we knew when we started PT Legends that it would turn into this.
No.
To where like helping gym owners and box owners find like real passion and purpose again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what saved us.
That's what saved us when we did it with our gyms.
Yeah.
And it was, a little over a year ago, and we did it. We started in your gym, and then we did it with all of our gyms, and then we're like, holy shit, and it became fun again. And that's how this thing kind of rolled. So, but anyways, back to the subject at hand. We're going to discuss today, what is the best bolt-on added revenue stream that you can add to your gym? What is the best revenue stream? Because there's a lot, right? So there's, supplements, right?
I'm sure Mosey's written a book.
Yeah, probably. Right? There's supplements, there's clothing lines, right? There's nutrition coaching. There are like short-term challenges or events, right?
Yep.
Sprints. What else do people do?
In bodies. I mean, there's probably thousands of them.
Yeah.
Or then you can stack on top of a stack. It's like, if you join today, guess what's going to happen? We're going to throw in a free nutritional one-on-one with our nutrition coach, and we're going to hook you up with the first month with some protein.
Yeah.
And some creatine.
Sweet, bro.
Unreal.
And we've done a lot of those things before. We've done supplements and this and that. And here's the thing: a lot of times that juice isn't worth the squeeze. If you have a lot of members and that, you can do all right, okay. But you're also the margins and this, and by the time you're spending all the money on inventory, in some places you can just drop ship it. We've tried all that stuff. A lot of times that juice isn't worth the squeeze, and but we always want to add on more revenue streams. And you see this with a lot of CrossFits. They're encouraged to do a lot of different kind of programs. So do a kids programs, and then an Olympic weightlifting program, and then they're do this. We're going to do this, and all of a sudden you've got like these 8 different revenue streams. Most of them bring in $800 to $1,000 a month, and they're just not worth the time, the effort,
the energy that you have to put in each of those.
The biggest thing. Okay, sure, you're now bringing $4,000 more, but the time and the energy you're putting into that, it's just not worth it. Like, get really good at something. And the great thing is that what we're going to present to you as the best bolt-on offer, like, you can target different audiences and bring in kids. You can bring in, people in their golden years. You can bring in the average Joes or the busy moms or whatever, a rock a dad bod kind of thing. And so the answer to what is the best bolt-on program that you can add to as an additional revenue stream. It's a transformational program. As simple as that. It's a transformational program. So then you're like, okay, great. What the hell is that? We already do a transformational. No, you don't. You don't. So a transformational program, when people come into your gym, they fill out a lead form or they call, what's the number one question that they ask? They're going to ask price.
That's it.
Followed up probably by, and when are your classes? That's it. That's all they know. Because in their heads, they're feeling a certain way. They're feeling kind of crappy about themselves. So they think all they need to do is work out. Like they just need to work out. They need to get back into a workout routine and start maybe following a diet. That's what they think. So they look for gyms, they look for CrossFits, they look for group training studios, personal training studios, whatever, because they think, okay, I need to work out. And that's what they equate to solve their problem, which in reality, that's not what they need to solve their problem. They've done that already a dozen times, and they've already tried 20 different diets, or the same diets 20 different times, or a combination. And at the end of the day, that's what they think they need. That's not what they truly need. At the end of the day, if you dig a little bit deeper, it's not the workouts that they need to be doing. It's they want to achieve weight loss. But if you dig a little bit deeper, well, you explain it better than anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, we were on a call yesterday, post-Thanksgiving, so it was just myself, Carl, and Kobe. We were on a call yesterday. We were having this conversation about, like, what is a transformational? Like, a lot of people in, like, our PT Legends, they come in, and we were guilty of this in August, of last year when we started it. It was more of like an ultimate weight loss transformation program. 9 weeks, we're going to build some bulletproof habits, but we really, at the end of the day, we're focused on the external transformation. But through the course of this past year, what we've realized is the real transformation is the internal transformation.
Yeah.
To where someone gets out of bed and they hit the ground and they're like, this is a new world I'm living in. They see their future, their family's future. So that internal transformation is what a real transformational program is. The external transformation is so overrated. I almost said a big box name, but they all have their 60-day challenge, or like even us, we're a 63-day transformation, but people achieve weight loss going through our program, but it's not about that. But yesterday I was talking to Carl, and we were talking about just this, about connecting the dots at the end of a consult, or what we like to call a conversation. And he had this conversation with a single mom, and the hell that she was in, she said she felt like she had this shadow over her that she was living in for the last, I think, 15 or 20 years of her life, a shadow. So just think of that visual, a shadow. She's living her life. And this lady, I think she needed to lose, 40 or 50 pounds. But this was about, she was living in a shadow. This dark cloud was hanging over her. And we were talking about this, like, okay, well, what did you pitch her, Carl? How did you sell the program at the end? He didn't even mention anything about workouts. He didn't mention anything about habits. He didn't mention anything about checking off the boxes. He said, it's time to get this shadow off of you. For the next 9 weeks, that's what we're going to do. To be mentored by me is $3,000. Let's do it. That was his pitch at the end. But he identified that what she needed, she was living her life in a shadow, and just felt just 24/7, 365 that she was not living the life that she was put on earth to live, and bringing their kids into it also. But that was how he closed it at the end. It's time. We're going to focus on your health and your fitness, and we're going to lift this shadow. And that's what we're going to do over the course of the next 63 days. Do you believe that you and I working together, we can lift this shadow? She's like, yeah. She's like, all right, it's $3,000. Let's do it. Okay.
They don't care how, guys. The transformational offer is not just, like Dave was saying, it's not solving the external. It's not the external change.
No.
Where now you're stronger. You've lost weight. You've lost a couple sizes. All that kind of stuff. You have more energy. That's great. It's the internal transformation. It's becoming the best version of yourself. It's tackling what's holding you back in life. That's what it is. And that's why, guys, that's why people lose. They struggle to lose the same 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds, is because internally, that's a manifestation of what's going on inside.
Yes.
100%. It just is.
That's a great way to describe it. That is it right there. It's not about the weight at all.
Yep.
Wow.
And Guys, so many people need this. Even the people who are like 15 pounds from their goal weight.
0 pounds overweight. You get me to have a conversation with you right now, and a lot of great things are going on in your life. This would be interesting. But if I would put you through a PC, it would come down to the end, and I would go, Scott, are you living your best life today? You're going to say no.
Yeah.
Because nobody is. So that's the cool thing. If you can get someone on the other end of the desk to say out loud, like, are you living your best life? Are you ready to level up? Even someone that's shredded. Give me a bodybuilder in here. Are you living your absolute best life? Nobody is. And so that's the cool thing. When you have that connection and they say that out loud, I'm not living my best life. That's what this program is. Over the course of the next 9 weeks, we are going to build a skill set. I'm going to be your mentor. We're going to work together. And we're going to get you on the path to every single day you're living your best life. You're taking action and you're taking ownership. The cost of that program is $3,000 to be mentored by me. Are you ready to do it? That's it.
That's it. And this might seem a little abstract to some of the listeners out there, but at the end of the day, for what we do with our transformation program is, they're working out in our gym or virtually for, 3 times a week. We give them homework to do. That gives us really insight about how we can help them in their day-to-day life and how we can build out a perfect day and a perfect week for them and establishing certain habits that will lead them to the lives that they want to live. And then we do an onboarding session where we discuss that and we figure out what do they need to be doing from a habit standpoint every day and every week. We build that out for them. And then we do weekly coaching calls where we talk about that. And we talk about how they're changing. We look at their perfect day and perfect week and see how close to it they're executing it. We iron out things so that it gets easier and easier and easier for them to live that perfect life week in, week out. And they just change. They change internally. And that whole dialogue and those whole weekly, and these coaching calls are about 15 minutes typically. And it's that whole conversation relies on who are you becoming? And watching them through this. And it's just, it's pretty amazing. And we've got different tools in there to do this, but that's it, guys. That transformational offer. That's not just the external, right? That's not the external results, which are great. Weight loss and having more energy and sleeping better and being stronger and more capable. Those are great. But you've got to change you have to go through an internal transformation, right? That's what we focus on with that transformational offer.
And this is the key. Let's tie it back into why this is a bolt-on offer. So I just got really excited right there. I go into every single consult, and we teach our legends to go into every single consult, knowing that the person across from the desk needs a transformational program. But here's the bottom line. A lot of people aren't ready for that. They're not ready for that type of ownership. They're not ready for someone to like grab them by the hand and say, let's go to war, let's go to battle, and let's come out and you're going to be the best person you can be in 9 weeks. A lot of people aren't ready for this. And that's why the transformational offer is the bolt on.
It's a bolt on.
It's a bolt on because everybody needs this program, but there's still there's what 20, 30, 40% of people are going to say, I am ready to do it. The other 60%, give them workouts, give them nutrition.
Yeah.
Focus on the external. Yep. And when you get them in your pipeline, now here's the cool part. You get them in that pipeline, and let's say they didn't go into your initial transformational program. They're in it, and it's like, hey, I want you to take some action, some ownership today. Let's get going with some training and nutrition. And here's what's going to happen. We're going to touch base every single month, and we're going to see where you're at. And when you're ready to take this next step and take more action, more ownership, I'm here for you. So all of a sudden, let's talk about leads. All of a sudden, they're paying you for the external transformation, but it's the perfect lead to initially go into your transformational program.
Absolutely.
But it's a bolt-on. That's the key.
Bolt-on. So if you're a CrossFit gym, if you can find what we call that bleeding neck, if you're talking to a person, you can open up a bleeding neck issue where you can tell they need something like this. And you can have that conversation and establish this, and there's different techniques to do it. The transformation offer is a fantastic thing to do. And you just, they go through your normal group, or if you want to take them through a PT side, personal training side, that's fine too, right? We have a couple different, we have one that's delivered in group versus one that's delivered one-on-one. But yeah, it's if you find somebody who this is a great fit for, great, pitch it right there. Some other people are either A, interested but not ready for that, B, have no interest in it, and they just want to work out. And that's cool. You just take them your normal route. I mean, that's it. This is just an extra tool to really help. This is a tool to help you be Tony Robbins to a certain person. And I know you want to do that. We've all wanted to do that. We just didn't know how. And that's the challenging part, right? But you can do that. To be a Tony Robbins to somebody, we boiled that down to such an easy and duplicable process. And for the people that need it, you need to be Tony Robbins because they're not going to get it anywhere else in their lives.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's truly a bolt-on. If you're a personal training studio, great. You don't need to change a damn thing. If you're a CrossFit affiliate, great. You don't need to change a damn thing. If you're a boot camp place, great. You don't need to change a damn thing. This is just a bolt-on. An absolute bolt-on thing. And that's it. I mean, we have to say that over and over again because people think they've got to change their business model to do this kind of stuff. And no.
It's because just like I got really excited in this podcast. I'm like, everybody needs it. And our legends that go through the program, they have that moment where like every person in the world needs a transformational program.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to take that step back sometimes and be like, this person's not ready. This person's not ready right now to take that type of real action. And then letting them know, it's like, listen, this is the program that I want you to do, but right now is not the best time for that. Right now, I don't feel that you're ready to take this on head on. And just having that honest conversation, right? Then they're like, okay, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to start you off over the course of the next, we're going to do our 40-day, whatever it is, whatever program that you have. And then you tell them, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 40-day program. It's going to include X number of personal training sessions, and we're going to really tackle the nutrition. And we're going to have that conversation 40 days from now and see where you're at. And you just keep them in your pipeline.
Yep. And that's what we learned because you're a really good salesman. And you know that you've sold these sometimes when people weren't ready.
Yep.
And it's just, guys, we want to do the best thing for the clients too. And that doesn't mean everything needs to be cheaper either. That actually does them a disservice. Price, and we're talking about $3,000. That's usually for a 9-week program, guys. So it's not cheap. Your people will find a way to make that happen. Definitely, no matter where you're at, in Mississippi, in Louisiana, wherever it is, we have people doing in all sorts of demographics. But it doesn't have to be the only route. It just doesn't have to be the only route. You can take them through your normal, and you will find people who generally can't afford it and won't be able to. Well, that's great. You can still have them take some action, which is great. You don't have. This is a total bolt-on, and I know we got to say it a million times because we've been guilty of trying to force people into that when they weren't ready either. You don't need to do it
because they end up focusing on the external transformation. I can't tell you how many people that I've signed on, and we get fired up, and they yell out loud, "Hey, I want to live my best life." But like looking back at it, like I just had that connection still isn't there. So they ended up signing up, and then by the time to get to week 3 or week 4, they're complaining that they're not losing weight. And that's how I know if we sold it to the right person. Because if we sell it to the right person that comes in, the shadow, all of a sudden with Carl's one-on-one conversations that he's having with the single mom, she could care less about the weight. Because the conversation is like, is the shadow being lifted? That's what it is. And then over the course of the 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, she's going to lose 20 or 25 pounds. But the conversations are going to be about that internal change. So very, 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 very important not to sell a high-ticket transformational offer to someone that's not truly ready for it. If you do that, it will come back and bite you in the butt.
Yep. And here's the thing, guys. You can sell 2 of these a month. That's it. And excluding any kind of renewals, you're looking at 72 extra grand you wouldn't have had a year, which is almost all profit, which is pretty wild. You don't need to do a boatload of these things, guys.
No.
And that's not even including renewals, which our renewal rates are pretty damn sweet too. So, but yeah, I think that's what we want to talk about. The number one thing to stress is like, you don't have to change anything in your business model. You just see if you can uncover bleeding neck issue. If you can, you have that conversation about a transformational offer. That's it. And if you can't, or you find out that it's a sheerly an affordability thing, that's great. You have all your other options. You don't need to present this to everybody, but it will change your entire life if you do, and theirs.
You change the way you have the conversation. That's it. That's not the only thing, but that's the key thing that we teach to every single person we work with. Let's get you fired up to have real conversations with real people in need. Oh, that was good.
That was good. We'll have to write that one down. All right, guys. Well, that's it for episode 27. We will see you next week for episode 28. And hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Take care, guys. Dave and myself, Scott, would love to thank you for tuning in and listening to the PT Legends podcast. You can get direct access to us by joining our free Facebook group. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/7-figure personal trainer. That's 7-figure personal trainer with the number 7. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep on learning and keep on living. Finally, if you picked up any tips whatsoever in this episode that you found helpful, be sure to leave us a review and tell us what you like best about it. Can't wait to see you on the next episode.